Hello and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. This is your host, Frances Vidakovic, and on this podcast, I'll be sharing with you the most valuable strategies to live your one wildly beautiful and most precious life. Because this is it, my friend. In case you haven't guessed, when it comes to life, there's no rewind or pause button that exists. They say that the way that you spend your days is the way that you spend your life. So my one and only goal here is to help you stop wasting your time, stop holding yourself back in life, stop experiencing non-stop negative mind chatter, stop just dreaming without doing, and start living life fearlessly instead, with more purpose, focus, and intention. I sincerely want you to live life in a way that when you come to the end of it, you know deep down in your heart that you 100% gave it your all, flaws and all. This podcast is not about doing life perfectly. Instead, it is about experiencing and living life with more clarity and courage and truly appreciating this precious adventure that we are so blessed to be on. So if you're with me here today, it's time to stop spinning in circles, get off the hamster wheel for good, put your hands back on the steering wheel of your life, and finally start living life in a way that you won't later regret. With that being said, let's dive on in. Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I'm your host, Frances Vidakovic, and in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you a really quick 2-minute reality check test. That is what I'm calling it, and it's to help you quickly shift your focus back to what is important. And this is especially useful to do, this exercise, if you feel like you've drawn the really shitty cards in life. So before I share with you this exercise, I want to give you a quick reality check. Did you know that if you have food in your fridge right now, clothes in your cupboard, a roof over your head, and a place to sleep in, you are richer than most people in this world? 3 billion people in this world currently live on less than $2, just $2 a day. Another fun fact, people who have an income of over $41,000 fall into the top 3% in terms of the richest people in the entire world. Okay, so if you're earning an income of over $41,000, you are in the top 3% of the richest people in the entire world. And if you woke up this morning and you felt really healthy and you weren't sick, you are more blessed than the 1 million people who will not survive this week. And if you have never experienced the danger of being in a battle, the torture of imprisonment, or being in a war, or the pangs of starvation, you are luckier than the 823 million people who are alive and suffering from starvation today. And if you can just even read a book, if you can read a newspaper, you're more fortunate than the 773 million people in this world who cannot read at all. And if you have access to internet, and I'm guessing that you do if you're listening to this podcast, you're more fortunate than the 2.9 billion people, how crazy is that? Almost 3 billion people who have never accessed the internet at all. And as we waste our breath complaining about life and all the problems that we think we're experiencing, someone right now is breathing their last breath. Now, these stats are going to vary according to the different research, but when I went to do some research myself, for the most part, these numbers are indicative of what is true in the world today. So I'm going to share with you an exercise that is going to give you the rudest reality check. It's going to make you really appreciate everything that you have right now. But before I do that, before I share the exercise with you, I just want you to already start to see, like after listening to the statistics that I shared with you, I'm hoping that you can already see the importance of counting your blessings rather than counting your perceived problems every day. And you may be wondering, well, how do I do this? Okay, and this is where I share with you this 2-minute reality check test that I came up with that I think is so powerful. So here's how this exercise works. I want you to start by asking yourself just this one question. If you were given the chance to swap your life for another random life, would you? So that's a question. I'm going to give it to you one more time. If you were right now given the chance to swap your life for another random life, would you? Now, when I say random, I mean that you're swapping it with any one of the 7.8 billion people in this world, living in all the different countries. There's like over 200 countries under all the different conditions. Okay, so we don't know if you're going to get someone who's super rich. We might get someone who's currently living in poverty. And I've already shared with you what it means to be super rich in this world. Just to be earning over $41,000 a year is a super rich person in this world. Okay, I want to ask you a few more follow-up questions. Would you take that massive chance to trade your life for another, not knowing the alternative that you would get? Would you risk everything that you have now in exchange for a potentially easier life, but potentially a much harder one? So just take a minute to weigh up everything you could potentially lose. Your family, your friends, your most special memories, any special talents that you have, potentially would lose your sense of self. And then there is step 2 of this exercise, which is where I want you to take another minute just to process what losing all those things would mean to you. What would you miss? Who would you miss? Is there anything that you'd find it really hard to say goodbye to? Now, the reason I'm asking you these questions is that they say that most people, if given the opportunity to swap and choose another life from this hypothetical lucky dip bag, they would immediately throw or wish that they could throw it back into the bag. Like they'd pull out a name and go, oh my gosh, no, I can't have that. And they would want to give it back if they knew what other troubles and problems exist in this world. I know that we often think that our troubles are really unique to us and we forget that other people are experiencing their own battles in this world. I promise you, there is not a person in this world that doesn't have their own cross to bear or their own battle to face. I know for me, like the cards that I've been dealt with is that I have a son that has a degenerative neuromuscular condition that requires him to use a wheelchair. And over the years, we've really embraced this life, like embraced these cards. And I've stepped into this role with grace and ease, probably after lots of trial and error. And would I ever want to gamble my cards in hopes of swapping it for a new mum role, potentially with a kid that doesn't have a wheelchair? No way. Why would I risk it for a child that could have some other issue that I would find even more difficult to cope with? I want to be the mum that I was born to be, the one I'm supposed to be. And I'm supposed to be the mum of my amazing kids. And I would never not want to have them in my life. And I have them in my life because these are the cards that were dealt to me. So I think that's really important that you embrace the cards that you have been dealt with. They've been given to you for a reason. You may not love them. You may not think that your life is perfect, but you have to make the best with what you have. Hey my friend, I just want to pop in and share with you the most amazing news that Inspiring Life Academy is finally open for enrollment. So inside the Academy, you are going to find every single course that I've ever created in my business to help you manage your mind, time, and life in a way that finally gets you the results you truly want. And I'm not kidding when I say it includes literally everything. There is over 50 courses and coaching roadmaps included inside with a total value of over $3,000. So to access this membership today at a super low founding members price, please make sure to check out inspiringmumlife.com/academy. That's inspiringmumlife.com/academy. Now, I have no idea how long the doors to the Academy will stay open, so if you're curious, I encourage you to check it out today, and I can't wait to see you inside. And often we think about, oh gosh, our life would have been so much different if we had different parents. And would I want to trade in my parents, who I love and they definitely weren't perfect, but would I risk trading them for another set of parents? No way. My parents have made me who I am. They've given me the gift of this culture that I love to bits. They've given me this home away from home back in Croatia where I lived on this beautiful little island for years. To have different parents would mean to take away all those amazing memories, all those amazing experiences that have fundamentally carved me to become the person that I am today, flaws and all. Now, some may say that the grass is greener on the other side, but the truth is everyone that you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. There are people right now in this world who are facing starvation, dealing with hunger and war and abuse and prejudice, with battles that we often overlook every day. We pretend not to see because we're so focused on our own life and our own problems, and we make our own problems so much bigger than what they really are. But the hurdles that you're currently facing in life are usually the ones that you're well equipped to deal with because you are strong and you are resilient. Just decide that this is true. Decide that the cards that you've been given are the best for you. And if you're struggling still to get into this headspace where you can look at your cards and think that they are a good thing, I just want to ask you that question. How is it true for you that your hurdles have strengthened you? How have your hurdles given you wisdom? How have your hurdles actually helped you learn more about life? So what you're going to discover after doing this quick 2-minute exercise is this. In under 2 minutes, you can see just how lucky you really are. So count your blessings, not your troubles always. You got to focus on your strengths and not your weaknesses, on the good and not the bad. So the next time you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed or any negative emotion, which is totally normal, just stop and take this 2-minute reality check test. Okay, so you remember what you got to do. It's you got to imagine that, would you trade your life that you're currently having for any random person in this world? Okay, almost 8 billion people that you could potentially swap with. And the second part of the question is, what would you miss about your own life? And I know there's some stuff that we wouldn't miss, but what would you miss? And realize that even if you do sometimes feel like swapping your troubles for someone else's, doesn't mean that you're not going to have a life full of negative emotion and positive emotion. You're still going to have battles. You're still going to have challenges. You're still going to have hurdles. You're still going to feel crap some days. Negative emotion is totally normal. but just consider the fact that you were given this life for a reason. So go out there and make it the best one that it can be. Given that every life is going to have hurdles and challenges, why not work with the ones that you have to strengthen yourself and make you realize just how resilient you really are. And if you want to know more about this skill of living life with more intention to take back your power and really help you create the results that you want in your life, I encourage you to join me inside the Inspiring Life Academy. For more info on the Academy, just make sure to check out the link inspiringmumlife.com/academy. I would love to welcome you with open arms. And as always, I'm pretty much here to help you get exactly what you want in your life. So whether your goals are big or small, relationship goals, business goals, career goals, or health goals, I can show you how to get there with ease. The secret is inside the Inspiring Life Academy. And until next time, take care, my friend. And I can't wait to catch you either inside the Academy or on the next episode. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I really appreciate you allowing me to be a part of your life. If you'd love to stay in touch, please know that you can always find me on Instagram at Frances Vidakovic, or you can visit my website, inspiringmumlife.com, where you can sign up and receive so many amazing freebies that I've created just for you to help you implement all my teachings into practice. There you'll also find all my online courses, resources and programs that I've created to help you up-level your life in seriously the simplest way possible, so that you can ultimately create for yourself a life that feels simpler, lighter, and allows you to show up in a way that you love as your best and most authentic version of yourself. Now remember, this podcast is all about not just dreaming but also doing, because to create true sustainable change in your life, you need to be willing to do things differently. And that's what I'm here to support you to do every single step along the way, so that you too can begin to live your one wild and precious life with less stress, less overwhelm, less drama, and instead with zero regrets. Finally, if this podcast resonates with you at all and you appreciate the content, I would absolutely love for you to show your support by leaving me a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm on a mission to help more people wake up to the preciousness of life and to help them live their days with more intention and purpose, and your review will help make this goal of mine possible. Well, once again, thank you so much. I have loved spending this time with you, and I look forward to connecting with you again. I am Frances Vidakovic, and you have been listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast.